Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I'm going to be talking about student-generated rubrics and how we can co-create rubrics for assessment with our students. So if you're interested in this topic, then please keep on watching. Okay, so this week I'm going to be talking about how we can actually teach our students to co-create rubrics with us that can be used as evidence of student learning assessment, in other words. So I'm just going to make myself a little bit smaller. And I think it's important that students are actually explicitly taught how to create a rubric in the first place. So the first step is to give students model examples. So give students lots of good samples, bad examples of rubrics, and then ask students to group these different types of samples that you've given them into a T-chart and listing qualities of the good rubric and qualities of the bad rubric. So a little bit like the concept attainment, where you're giving examples of good rubrics and then non-examples of good rubrics. Now, the next step is to discuss the good and bad qualities of those rubrics that you've created. So from that T-chart, you're going to co-create a list of top qualities of the rubric that everybody agrees with. You might have students in pairs or in groups of 3 discussing which of the top qualities they like in terms of that T-chart. And then as a class, you're going to have a common agreement on what those good qualities are for rubrics. Step 3 is going through and checking that the standards, or sometimes they're called competencies, not the conceptual understandings, are covered by the rubric. So check that the standards that need to be covered by the rubric are there. So we don't share the conceptual understandings, which means the understandings that we want students to take away from their learning experiences, but we do need to ensure that the standards or the competencies are included, and that is to be shared. So the standards or competencies that we want to be included in any rubric should be shared with students so that they actually understand what standards are going to be covered. And then lastly, give students a blank rubric template to complete for the authentic performance task, ensuring students justify their choices in their self-reflection journal. So we give students a blank rubric template, but we know the good qualities and the bad qualities. And for each particular authentic performance task, you may want to decide as a class what the descriptors are, what the actual criteria are, what each individual criterion is for that particular authentic task, or you might suggest some, and then students are then co-creating those descriptors. So there are some of my thoughts about helping students to generate their own rubrics, but co-creating as a class with your guidance. If you have any suggestions, then please put them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me again this week, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.